Fuck, I'm gonna break a tooth. Ugh. No wonder they were drunk all the time. Ugh. Why does everything stink? Oh, it's so bad. This is the worst thing I've ever eaten in my life. Yarr, welcome back to the channel. We've all dreamed of being a pirate, sailing the open seas, free as a bird, drinking rum with your mateys and taking over ships to steal rum, sugar, and gold. But unfortunately, as you might know, the reality of being a pirate was not as fun. These guys didn't have refrigeration, and they would be out at sea for months on end, so they needed food that would not go bad during the weeks and weeks that they were out on the ocean blue. So today I'm going to be trying a variety of pirate foods to see if I would have had what it takes to be a salty sea dog. All right, what's the first food? Yeah, hardtack is basically a very, very simple biscuit made from flour. It's like a cracker. It's made from flour, water, and salt, and that's it. They'd bake it for hours, sometimes like multiple times, until there was no moisture left at all, and it was just hard as a brick. Like this, which made it extremely durable, which was obviously essential for when you're out on sea for so long. You couldn't have fresh bread because that would just get moldy after a couple weeks, especially when you're on a ship where everything gets wet. So they would basically live off of hardtack. I couldn't find a recipe for hardtack, believe it or not. So I just basically mixed flour with like a tiny amount of water and then kneaded that and then baked it at like a pretty high temperature until it was just dry as can be. As dry as a Cliff protein bar, basically. Seriously, fuck those. Those are disgusting. To give you an idea of how hard and like barely edible these things were, pirates would break it apart with their fists or like the other end of their swords so they could actually eat it. And it went by many names, one of which was molar breakers. Yeah. Anyway, let's try it out. I gotta say, this does not look very appetizing. See if I can get a close shot of that. I mean, I made them very thin. If you look up a picture, it won't look like this. They'll be like actual biscuit shapes and they'll be very like thick. But I didn't have like 3 days to bake these, so I just made them very, very thin to get an idea of what it would taste like. You know, hardtack kind of sounds like heart attack if you say it quick enough. Hardtack, which is funny because I feel like it's not great for your health. All right, let's just try it. I think I actually could break a tooth eating this, even though it's very thin. This is hard as a rock. Yeah, that's really bad. Not bad as in it tastes bad. It just doesn't taste like, it tastes like flour, basically. It's like a saltine cracker if there was no salt on it and like you'd left it out in the sun for like 7 weeks so it could become hard. This is just like poverty food. This is barely edible. I feel like I could eat the bark off of a tree and probably get more nutrients than this. Yeah, so I made like 7 of these. I don't think I'm gonna eat any of them. Bailey, you wanna try hardtack? I don't think dogs can have hardtack. I don't think humans can have this. I don't think it's safe for either of us. I mean, it's not that bad, but if there was nothing else to eat, well, I mean, I guess that was the case. I would give this a B, as in this be one of the worst things I've ever tasted. But it gets worse. So, these were often stored in like wooden barrels on the ship, and they would have a bunch of rats and insects on the boats with them. One common insect was the weevil that would infest these hardtack supplies. Like these would almost always have weevils and like worms on them. Sometimes the sailors would just eat them with the weevils on them because I guess they didn't care enough. Maybe they just thought it was extra protein. Sometimes they would eat it in the dark so that they wouldn't know whether or not they were eating one with weevils on it or not. Now I don't have any weevils and I don't know what the hell a weevil is. It's just like an insect, but I do have whole roasted crickets. Okay? I don't know why I did this. Why am I doing this? It has a lot of vitamin B12, I'll say that. These are Canadian crickets, apparently, so there you go. Let's try these out. Maybe it'll be even better with the crickets, who knows? That is an issue. That smell is not good. Oh my. It's whole crickets. These are not pieces of crickets. I thought it would be like an arm and a leg or something. It's whole crickets. Can you see that? Like that is, oh, that is just a bunch of crickets. You can see their little faces. Look, this one has like a little face. I don't know if you can see, this one has like an antenna. Whoops. In order to make this more realistic to what pirates ate, I guess I'm just gonna like dump a bunch of them on. Got like legs on my hand. You know, I used to have pet frogs. I would feed them crickets. Not once did I look at the crickets and say, those look good, let me try one. Okay, well, here goes. There's hardtack with crickets. Or weevils, I guess. I'm like, my heart is, I'm gonna have a heart attack. That's why they call it hardtack. I'm like scared of this. My body's having like a instinctive reaction to get me not to eat this. Here we go, yummy. Oh. That is not good. That is not good at all. Dude. It won't go away. I've been chewing for 5 minutes. I'm crying, dude. Oh my god. That was fucking disgusting. Like, the hardtack is so hard and crunchy, and the crickets are crunchy, but way less. So you know when you're biting into a cricket versus when you're biting into the hardtack. I think I have to try a cricket just on its own, because... It's so much worse by itself. I don't even have any water. Why did I do this to myself? I'm not playing this up for the camera. That is disgusting. It doesn't taste like they cooked it. It just tastes like a bug. There's one under my fuck, they're everywhere. Ew. Get that away from me. It's like all in my teeth. Dude, it tastes like a bug. Like if you imagine what a bug, like dirt, but like bad dirt, not even good dirt from like your garden. This is like the dirt that like grows in between the cracks of a sidewalk where there's like a weed. Like that. I'm like burping too. I already had dinner. Like I'm not even hungry. This is worse. I should have not eaten. Like this, I just made it worse because I'm not even hungry and I'm eating this. I'm not joking. That's one of the worst things I've ever eaten. And I have an entire 4-ounce bag of this. I dropped some on the floor by accident. My dog smelled it and walked away. So that ought to give you an idea. I will not be making cricket hardtack for my Christmas dinner, I'll tell you that. The taste is just not leaving my mouth. Okay, next item. Grog was a mix of rum and water, that's all it was. Pirates would drink it because it was hard to keep fresh water, you know, from going bad during long trips. Whereas alcohol would stay fresh much longer, obviously. But you couldn't have your crew just drinking booze all the time or else they'd all, you know, be drunk constantly. So they would have basically a daily rum ration that was diluted with 3 to 4 parts water. They did have water on the ships to drink, but it would just sit in barrels and like go stagnant and, you know, get bacteria and all that. So by mixing it with rum, it would make it safer to drink because the rum would, you know, help kill some of the bacteria, I guess. Because it was kind of boring, just water and rum, they would add lime to it a lot of the time. And that would actually help them because that would help prevent scurvy because lime has vitamin C. So what I have here is rum. It's actually a pirate rum from Quebec. So for my big pirate mug, that'll be about 2/3 of cup of rum. Then the rest will be water. I painted this, by the way. I hand painted this mug, just so you know. You can't buy this. It smells delicious. It says extra spiced rum, which I feel makes sense. Because I know pirates would mix a lot of spices in with their drinks. And then I'll put a bunch of lime, just so I don't get any scurvy. Yarr! Alright, and bottoms up. Let's see how this is. You know, that's actually quite nice. It's very refreshing, especially with the lime. This is actually great. We should bring this back. Because when you get drunk, you get hungover, which is because you get dehydrated from the alcohol. So if you just mix it with like 3 parts water, then I feel like you're reducing the chance of getting a hangover. That's actually really good. I approve of this. I will give this an A for Arr. Dude, my stomach is going to sound like you're microwaving a bowl of pennies after. It's not, like, this is not a good combination of items for me to eat. Next up is split pea soup, which was a common food. They would have split peas a lot on pirate ships, I guess, because they dried really easily, which made them easy to store for a long time. They had a ton of calories and protein as well, so sailors would just boil them down until it was like mush and eat that like a porridge, which was, I guess, cheap and filling and easy enough to make on a ship. Basically, I did exactly that. I bought some split peas and I boiled them until they were like just mush. And I gotta say, it does not look like the most appetizing thing I've ever seen. The texture, it's kind of like... the smell. Why does everything stink? This smells like the crickets. The texture, I think I left it out for a bit too long after it like finished cooking, because it has the texture of cookie dough. Like it's... you could like cut through it. But it's not gonna taste like cookie dough, it's gonna taste like fuck. Let's try split pea soup is what it's called. This does not look like a soup to me. It looks like a fucking chalk. Okay, whatever. Let's try it. Why does everything have to taste like so bad? This tastes like coffee beans. Why does it taste like coffee? This is literally like if you boiled coffee in a coffee maker and then you just took out the wet beans that you used to make the coffee and ate them. That's what this tastes like. Oh, it's so bad. It doesn't taste like peas. I never had split peas. I don't know why it tastes like piss. It doesn't taste like peas. I like the taste of peas. I never had split peas before. Do they just taste like shit? It's just how they make them? Like, all I did was boil them. I didn't do anything. This is horrible. It's kind of like chickpeas, if you've ever had chickpeas. If you just like didn't add any salt or flavoring whatsoever and just boiled them into a mush and then like waited for it to harden like I did for some fucking reason. And I'm spilling it all over myself. All right, this is better than the hardtack with crickets, but not by much. If I were a pirate and I had to eat this more than like 3 days in a row, I would walk the plank myself. It's very bland, like there's not much flavor, but what flavor there is not good. So... it's coffee beans. That's what it tastes like. It tastes like coffee beans. Like wet coffee beans. Ugh. I wouldn't give this to my dog. Bailey, do you want to try this? Come here, sweetie. Tell Daddy if this smells good. Oh, you like the smell? Here, try that. No, she didn't take it. She sniffed it and said no thank you. She's like, you're not offering me very good options tonight. So far, I've been offered crickets and split pea mush. I will say, coming back to the grog in between each one to like refresh my palate is wonderful. This is delicious. It's just very refreshing. It's got that spiced rum, a little bit of lime. This is great. And I get a chance to use my pirate mug, so. All right, what's next? Mangoes. You know what? I'm actually happy that I have this now because I feel like I deserve something that doesn't taste horrible. What I've got here is a mango from Peru. So fresh fruit like mangoes wasn't something that they ate super often, pirates, because, you know, it was hard to find out when you're on sea. But when they did reach land, they would, you know, grab as much like tropical fruit and stuff like that as they could and eat it before it went bad. They could trade for fruit, they would steal fruit, things like that. Obviously it was very important so that they wouldn't get scurvy, right? This is a mango because, you know, it's a tropical fruit, it makes sense. Is there a pit in this? Why is there something hard in the middle? I've never really had a mango. I mean, I've had mango flavored things, but I don't know if I've ever bought a whole mango to eat. So I can imagine myself as a pirate, you know, stop off on an island, grab some papayas and mangoes and stuff like that, give some to my parrot on my shoulder. It smells okay. It's not bad. That's not bad. It's not like super sweet whatsoever. It's very mildly sweet, but it's super refreshing. I quite like this. That's really nice. If I were a pirate and I were eating hardtack with weevils on it and pea soup every day, and I got to an island and had a fresh mango like this, I would be over the moon happy. This is very nice. I'm gonna save some of this so I can come back to it later because the next things are not going to be as pleasant, I don't think. Molasses is like a sweetener nowadays, but back then I think it was a leftover from making sugar, basically. There was a lot of sugar cane in the Caribbean at that time, so, you know, pirates would often have a lot of molasses on board with them. It was cheap, it was full of calories and, you know, energy because it's sugar. It didn't spoil easily either, so it ended up showing up as an ingredient in a lot of the ship's food. Also, it was what rum was made of. Rum was made of molasses. I don't know if it still is, but back then it was. So molasses was pretty important to pirates. When I was young, I thought molasses was like a snail, because there's an expression, slow as molasses. So I guess I didn't really ever think about what that meant. I just thought it was like another snail creature. And then when I saw it at the store and I saw you can buy like liquid molasses, I thought that they turned snail creatures into liquid. I'm realizing as I say this that it makes me sound like I wasn't a very smart kid. Also, the French word for slug is limace, which kind of sounds like molasses. Limace has a similar sort of sound, so maybe that was part of it. I don't know. Anyway, I've never tried it, so we'll try it. They would use it for a lot of different things. They would mix it into their food, like the porridge, like the split pea soup, or spread it on hardtack to make it more palatable. So I'm just gonna try a little bit of it straight and see. It doesn't smell, it smells like soy sauce. Okay, wait, I gotta try this. I was expecting it to taste like sugar, but it doesn't taste sweet, like, to me. Hold on. I guess that's why they say slow as molasses. Look at that, barely coming out. I don't know if you can see that, but it's black as coal, which I wasn't expecting. Bottoms up, let's try that. That's not that good. I was expecting it to be like a maple syrup, you know? But it's not, it's like very salty. And I feel like as a pirate, you wouldn't want more salt in your diet. Everything's salty when you're at sea. So that's kind of disappointing. This is fancy molasses. I don't know if that means anything different, but as you can see, it's fancy molasses, and it has happy little gingerbread men on it, which I like, so that's cool. It's not bad, it's just strange. Like I said, it's like sweet soy sauce. Have you ever had soy sauce? Just imagine adding a bunch of sugar to it. That's what it tastes like. It's not great. But I could see adding this to the, you know what, let me try actually. If I add this looks so disgusting, dude. This looks so bad. It's just a plate of fucking dry crackers with dead bugs on it. This looks horrible. Yum yum, who wants to come grab a bite of this? Come enjoy. Oh shit. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try adding the molasses to the hardtack to see if that makes it more palatable. There you go, just a little drop on there, that'll do it. I'm not adding any bugs to it though, that's for sure. Again, my heart is like beating so fast. I think my heart is, every time I look at the bugs, my heart like jumps. Oh, they're so nasty looking, Nicky. I don't understand, could they not have like mushed them up into a more like appealing shape? Like I just see their little face, I just see their little faces and eyes staring at me and like their legs. Well, to be fair, I did buy whole roasted crickets, so it's not their fault. I could have read that. Okay, anyway, let me try the hardtack with the bullshit on it. Fuck, I'm gonna break a tooth. My body probably thinks the apocalypse happened or something. Like, bro, why are we eating insects and like chalk and molasses? Did the apocalypse happen? What's happening? I mean, it gives it a little bit more flavor, but you're still eating what is basically a brick of flour. You know what? I'm gonna, I don't want to do this, but just to see if it makes it more, you know, doable, I'm gonna take one of these little guys, just this friendly looking fella here. I'm gonna dip him in the sauce, and then we'll see if that makes it any better. No. Why does it taste like that? Why does it taste like that? Why? I don't get it. You can't disguise it. The molasses just wears away, and then it's just bug. I don't get, why does it taste like that? It's like earth. Ah, it's just old dirt, and it doesn't go away. It does not go away, I swear. It's like one cricket this big. There's so much flavor in it. Oh my god, no wonder they were drunk all the time. Yeah, that's horrible. Get that away from me. The crickets are the worst part of this, by far. This is the worst thing I've ever eaten in my life. The future of food. If this is the future of food, I'm going to kill myself. Alright, last but not least, we have, like, preserved fish. So, pirates would eat a lot of preserved meats and fish. They couldn't have fresh meat, so they would basically salt the hell out of their meats or, like, pickle them in jars and barrels. And that would include things like fish. So I have some preserved mackerel here. It's canned. It's in water, but it has salt added, so it's kind of close to what pirates would eat, basically salted fish. The taste of cricket is gonna come with me to the grave, I swear to God. It's not going away. I had one cricket. Like, I ate all that food, it was fine, then as soon as I had one cricket, that's all I taste now. If there was, like, ever an apocalypse and I had to eat crickets to survive, I think I'd just let myself die. That's not even that bad. Like, the smell of the sardines is... Oh, wait, these are sardines. I meant to buy mackerel, but I bought sardines. Whatever. It's preserved fish, doesn't matter. The smell of the fish I thought would be, like, bad, but compared to the crickets, it smells nice. Okay, so I'm just gonna eat this. Again, I've already had dinner. I'm not even remotely hungry. So, I'm not enjoying this one bit. Ah. Alright. That looks delicious. It's basically what pirates would eat. Since they couldn't have fresh meat, they just eat fish that was preserved in salt. That's not that bad. I could survive off this if I had to. It's good for you too. I mean, it's... Those crickets ruined my day. Well, it's 11 p.m., but they ruined tomorrow. That's how bad they are. Like, my day tomorrow is already ruined. That's how bad those crickets were. So, basically, do I have what it takes to survive out at sea as a pirate? No. I would do fine with the grog and the molasses and the fish, I guess, but everything else, I would not be able to do it. Oh, and the mango. I kind of forgot that I have the mango. I think the grog is starting to work because I'm just staring at the camera and not saying a word. So yeah, I would have enjoyed the grog and the fruit and the molasses. And then as soon as that all ran out and I had to eat the pea soup and the bug crackers, I would throw myself off the side of the ship. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, like the video, comment. Do not ever eat any of these things. And that about does it. Thank you for watching. My name is Wolfgang, and I will see you next time.